If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, welcome you all to this new lecture in GATE Power System series. So today again we will be solving 5 questions starting from question number 91, 92, 93, 94 and then question number 95. Okay, then let's try to solve these questions. Okay, in question number 91, the incremental cost in rupees per megawatt hour of operating two generating units are functions of their respective power P1, P2 and megawatt, and they are given IC1, IC2 is given, P1, P2 range is given. For certain load demand, P1, P2 have been chosen so that IC1 is this much, IC2. So they are not equal. That means it was not economic operation. Now if the generators are rescheduled to minimize the total cost, now it is rescheduled as economically, or economic schedule has been done, then what should we be do? So that means these two should be equal. So let me see first when it is 76, when it is 68.6, how much they are delivering. So from that you will know the total load demand at that point. So your IC1 was 76, that is 0.2 PU1 plus 50 is equal to 76, which will give you P1 is equal to 130, and the second one 0.24 P2 plus 40 is given 68.68, which will give you P2 is equal to 120. That means your total load was 250. That means this plus this 130 plus 120. So this much has to be rescheduled economically. So your IC1 should be equal to IC2, or P1 plus P2, that should be equal to 250. This is equation 1. And second one is these two incremental costs, they should be equal. So if you do them equal, you will find second equation. Solve 1 and 2. So from 1 and 2 if you solve, you will get your, I am directly writing, you can solve it. P1 is 113.63 and P2 will get 136.36 megawatt. Now you see whether they are in range or not. 113.6 P1, okay, it is in the range. P2 136, that is also in the range. So obviously this is the answer. So now they are asking the value of P2, so this one will be the answer. Now if you come to 92, two generating units rated 300 and 400 megawatt have a governor speed regulation of 6%, 4% respectively from no load to full load. So there is a decrease if you go to from no load to full load, 6% decrease. Both the generating units are operating in parallel to share a load of 600 megawatt. Assuming the free governor actions, the load shared by the larger units is. Okay, so in that case, what is droop characteristics? So suppose if you draw for a 1 is 6% and 1 is 4%. So one will be something of this fashion. Which one is 6%? 300 megawatts. So if it, suppose this was generator 1, I am writing, this is P1, P for generator 1, generator 2. For generator 1, maximum load is 300, no load is here. So if it comes from no load to full load, suppose this is 100% frequency, if I say 100, so here it will be, the frequency will be at 96 of, it is 100F you can take, so it is the 96%, so it is 94F, this one. And the second one is, they are saying it is 400, but here it is, the droop is at, so this point is at 4% drop, 96. This is 96, this is this. So this is for generator 1, this is for generator 2. Now if they had to operate, they have to operate at a constant frequency. Their frequency should be constant. So they had to operate at some point. Suppose this is my point at where they should operate. So this generator will take this much load. This will be my answer P1 and this will be my answer P2. These loads are shared in this way so that they are equal. So their height, these heights should be equal. So the value of Y should be equal. Suppose this is Y and this is your X. So your Y and Y should be equal. You have to see in which cases Y becomes equal. And your this P1 plus P2 should also give you that, or P1 plus P2 should be 600. That is one case because total load is 600. Next you can write the equations of these two straight line. First if you go for line 1, then you can write 2-point formula. If I write this one as capital F as a frequency, so it is F minus 94, Y minus Y1. Suppose this point I am considering. What is the coordinate of this one? 300, 94. What is the coordinate of this one? 400, 96. And this is 0, 100 is equal to Y2 minus Y1, 94 minus 100 divided by 300 minus 0 into X minus 0. X is my P1. So if you do this one from here F, you will get minus 0.02 P1 plus 100. Similarly, you can do it for the second equation also. For second equation, it will be F minus 96 is equal to 96 minus 100 divided by 400 minus 0 P2 minus 100. So if you solve it, you will get here F is equal to 0.01 P2 plus 100. Now both these should be equal. P1 P2 can different because at this P1 the F is this one, at this P2 the F is this one. So both these should be equal. So if you equate these two, you will get another equation 2. This equal to this. If you solve 1 and 2, you will get the answer. Solving 1 and 2, you will get your P1 is equal to 200 and P2 is equal to 400. Now they are asking, assuming the free governor, the larger unit, which one is the larger? Second one is the larger, I guess it was 400. Okay, so P2 they are asking. So P2 will be equal to 400. You have to check whether it is in the limit also or not. Its maximum rating was 400, so it is within limit. Any further increase it will not allow. So it is operating exactly at this level actually. Now if you come to question number 93, in a power system 3-phase fault MVA is always higher than single line to ground fault MVA at a bus. Always they are asking. So what is your 3-phase power fault MVA? Or this is if you take fault current IF, that is it itself become fault MVA because your power voltage we take 1 per unit. So your fault MVA in case of 3-phase it is this one, and in case of single line to ground point it is x1 plus x2 plus x0. So you can think of due to this, because here IF is equal to 3 into IA0, so your fault MVA is IF into 1, IF into VF, VF you consider 1, that is pre-fault voltage is 1 that we consider. Now this one you can see here reactance is more, so it will be less, so your 3-phase fault MVA will be higher. You can think in this way, generally it happens also, but it is not true for always. Suppose your bus is very close to a synchronous generator. If it is very close to synchronous generator or generator bus, then your x0 is becomes 0, because in case of generators your x0 becomes very less or negligible. So if it is negligible and x1 becomes near to x2, then you can see this is higher than this one. It will be 1.5 times than 1 by x1. So you can see if it is equal, then it is 2x1, then it is 1.5 by x1, so it is only 1 by x1 and it will become 1.5 by x. So this is not always true, so it is false. It is true in general cases, other cases, but if it is very close to synchronous generator, you can see one example where it is not true. Now if you come to 94, for an unbalanced fault with paths for zero sequence current, they at the point of fault, if you see at the point of fault, which sequence voltage will be maximum, minimum, positive or negative? They are asking about negative and zero sequence. So if you see your positive sequence network, if you draw the network, finally what you draw, suppose there is a fault here, so there are all impedance are there and everywhere there are impedance, so current can come from this side also, this side also. So if you come at this position, what will be this voltage? This minus this. So that drop occurs here. This is positive, and in case of negative there is no source is there, and you can calculate the current. Suppose it is single line and IA0 is equal to IA0 is equal to IA0, then this exact entire drop will come here. So it is actually, you can think it or you can remember it in this way also. Where there is a fault, that fault voltage get very much reduced, and what is normal voltage is nothing but your positive sequence voltage. So if positive sequence get reduced very much, that means negative and zero sequence is higher than that, that is the maximum. So negative and zero sequence voltage are more than your positive sequence, that's why they are saying it is maximum. So that is option B. Now if you come to 95, for the fault at the terminals of the synchronous generator, the fault current is maximum fault. Just now we have explained in case of 3D. You can think of 3-phase to ground fault, that is okay because it was 1 by x1. And but you can think of LG fault also. LG it is 3 by x1 plus x2 plus x0. But in case of synchronous generator, this becomes, or Z1, Z2, Z0, this becomes negligible. So it becomes higher than this one, because if these two are equal, then it becomes 1.5 times. So your single line to ground fault has giving more current if it is at the terminals of the synchronous generator. So this is the answer, that is LG fault. Option C, not this one. General idea is 3-phase to ground fault. That is for other places, not very close to synchronous generator. Because in case of synchronous generator, your X0 doesn't get that much affected. It doesn't have that much effect, so it becomes 0. So ultimately it becomes more than your 3-phase fault MVA or 3-phase fault current. So that's why it is LG fault. If you like the video, then press the like button and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.